18th International Mother Language Day this week, the Congress of South African Students, or COSAS, has once again called for all 11 languages to be treated equally in order to improve the pass rate. COSAS wants pupils to be allowed to write exams in their mother tongue. The Department of Basic Education has embarked on an initiative that's aimed at bringing indigenous African languages into mainstream education, which has yet to bear fruit. The department has also enacted the Incremental Introduction of African Languages policy back in 2014, which was just to ensure that all schools offer at least one African language. Joining us now is the President of COSAS, John Macheke. John, good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Vanessa. Morning to you.
Now, tell us about this call. This is not a new call, really. Your predecessors have made this call previously, and it looks like nothing is happening.
Yes, the problem is the way the call was handled. Tina as COSAS now are using the Constitution. The Constitution of South Africa on Section 29 of 2 of the Constitution provides that every learner has a right to receive basic education in the language of her choice, which means other learners' languages have been oppressed. We've been using English in our schools as a language that we are being assessed on. Now, that doesn't mean that I cannot write my question paper in Tswana, I cannot write my question paper in Xhosa. For example, in subjects like life science, geography, we don't learn the language, but we learn the content in that subject. Now, this thing has been affecting our learners, and it's high time we take it to upper levels. Now, as COSAS...
But are you basing your call on research? Is there research currently that shows that children or pupils are not able to make it due to the fact that they have to understand English before they could understand the content of the subject?
Yes. Remember, when your question paper comes in English, you go to crèche, you study Tswana, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, until grade 7. When you get to grade 8, you start learning English. But you understand Tswana better than English. Now, your question paper comes in English. Before you answer the question paper, you must translate English into...
You've got to understand English before.
Translate it first. Now, it takes time for you to understand the question. You end up at sometimes skipping questions because you don't understand the language. But if then you can even write in your own language, because even teachers, when they teach in our schools, they even go further in explaining in your own language, in Tswana. Now, because your mind it's on its own state, you remember that term of Tswana, you don't remember that term of English.
And you can't
now
put
it's
that
difficult
down
for
on
you to write it on the answer sheet now. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we know that as much as you're saying that this is, of course, contained in the Constitution, the Department of Basic Education, they have to implement this. Why are you going the High Court route instead of engaging the department? Have you spoken to the Department of Basic Education on this before?
Yes, this has to go to High Court. Remember, this is a policy, and to change a policy is very difficult. You cannot just engage the Department of Education and change a policy overnight. Now, as COSAS, we are working with the CRL Rights Commission that deals with language, religious, and culture. Now, we have met with them, we have engaged. Now, we have found a solution that the only solution is to take the Department of Education to High Court. The Department of Education will be changing and reviewing its own South African Schools Act. We are not only working with the CRL, we are working with different organizations like the ANC Youth League, the current Secretary General of the ANC Youth League, Regine Kabinte, which will soon become the President of the ANC Youth League.
Okay, so... But do you not think that the department is really trying? Let's look back at 2014 when the Department of Basic Education implemented that introduction of African language policy, that children can at least do one African language in schools. So do you not think that they are really trying to meet you guys halfway?
Trying is not enough. Actually, it must be implemented. Remember,
but that is implemented. As we speak currently, pupils have to do at least one African language.
Yes, the problem is when it comes to assessment. We are assessed in English. We are not assessed in our own languages, which means even our question paper are marked in English. Now, that becomes a problem. As I've said, that it doesn't matter when you are writing life science. You can write life science in Tswana. When we say a heartbeat 6 times a day, when I say it in Tswana and when I say it in English, it's the very same thing. It doesn't change anything, which means I must be able to be assessed in my own language that I understand.
So what happens next? Are you off to the courts?
Yes, now we have a meeting this week. We are meeting with the Department of Education and the CRL Rights Commission led by Mama Togo Mkwanazi. Now we'll be engaging the Department of Education. After then, we are taking this issue into High Court. We are going to the office of Macheke.
So do you not believe that the Department of Education will be able to solve it? Because you yet to meet with them, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
It cannot be changed by the Department of Education. As I said, it's a policy. Remember, the policy gives the SGB powers to decide on the issue of languages, the policy of languages. Now, where is the voice of learners there? But the Constitution gives power to learners. That's when we have contradiction of clause in the Constitution. Now, it simply means the only thing that we can be changed this problem is the High Court.
The High Court. All right, John, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. You'll keep us updated as to how things unfold in courts. Many thanks to COSAS President John Macheke, talking to us about language issues in schools. We're taking a quick ad break here on Morning Live. Your news at 8 will follow.
Thank you, Palace.